Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of the EntreMusician podcast. And this week I am honored to have a very special guest who is a creative and innovative person that I think is vital for everyone to know about. His new platform is called StageDive. Everyone, please welcome Jon Bruce.
Wow, what an introduction. Listen to that. Creative and innovative. I don't know that I've ever been accused of either of those before, but let's roll with it.
Well, hey, I really think that this is a very good description of what it is that you're putting together because, I mean, it's going to benefit fans as well as the musicians and everything, just a cursory look. But let's get into it because I really think that StageDive, as this new innovative platform, is going to be something that's going to take the world by storm.
I hope you're correct. Yeah, we're certainly building it out as such. We hope that that's the case. But yeah, let's dive in. Let's go.
So with this in mind, yes, with this in mind, what was really the inspiration to get this platform developed the way you have done it?
Yeah, there were several things that happened just sort of all back to back. So first of all, we're big fans of independent music, right? Most of the people who work at StageDive who are helping us to build this are either current or previous musicians, people who've moved more into the business side or more into software development. So coming from that world, we're all familiar with the struggles of trying to create music, not only to make your music creative, but to make it listenable, make it interesting. And you put in all this work and all this effort, you pour your heart and soul into making the music into something marketable. And then you hit this insane roadblock when it comes to trying to actually get it out to the world and try to make some of that investment back off of that money, trying to really treat your music as a business, very much in line with what EntreMusician is helping to train people how to do, helping to get people leveled up to that. So, coming from that background, now looking at the current state of music streaming, I mean, you all have been seeing the same videos, the same interviews that I have, musicians ranging from the smaller super independent groups all the way up through your multi-platinum artists are complaining about the way that music is paying these days, and it's just not the same as it once was.
Right,
It's
true.
gotten infinitely worse in the era of streaming. So
Yes.
this is just sort of out there, in the ether. Everybody's talking about this, everybody's looking at this and kind of scratching their heads, wondering, well, what's anybody going to do about it? It seems just permanently broken if things continue the way that they are.
Yes.
So all of that's been
Yes.
going around, and there were a couple of different times where I would just be driving around. I like to listen to music. I listen to music in the car and things, and you'll really be interested in the playlist that you have going on or the album that you're listening to, and suddenly your music stops, and somebody is trying to sell you car insurance. The tune changes, the groove gets all thrown off. The whole
Right.
vibe has changed. It's frankly one of the most infuriating experiences I've ever had in my life. And you can't skip it, especially if you're driving, right? Hands at
Right.
10 and 2 on the wheel. There's
Yes.
there's no finding your phone to go and skip the ad. And so, I started thinking on one of my long drives, I was just thinking, okay, is there a possible model that exists where advertising doesn't have to disrupt it? That's really where it started. That was kind of the genesis of
Okay.
this idea.
Okay.
And then, in addition to that, looking at the way that a lot of media companies set themselves up, how they are sort of beholden to a lot of the rules and regulations and business practices for music distribution or commentary distribution when it comes to podcasts and such. And just none of it really seemed fair. Not that there were any ill intentions necessarily. It's just that's the way that
Mhm.
the business has worked. That's what the industry expects the business to look like. And so they sort of fall into these business patterns that are not creating the value for the content creator so much as the platform, right?
Okay.
And so all of these things just sort of swirling around had an aha moment. Hey, what if there was a model where it's subscription based, it's priced low because the platform doesn't actually need a whole bunch of revenue in order to run something like this. It's a lot cheaper than people
Okay.
might think. What if we just sort of took the greed out of it, right? We're interested in supporting the artist, we're interested in supporting the creator,
Okay.
And we made it so that subscriptions just were shared proportionally among the people that are being streamed, right? So if I'm a
Okay.
listener, I listen to you 10% of my time, you get 10% of the creator's chunk of the subscription, right? Something proportional and fair like that. It started as just sort of an ethereal concept, something along those lines. And I have lots of these aha moments on my drives. I always call up
Yes.
the same person, my brother-in-law. I give him a call and I run my crazy idea by him.
Okay.
Most of the time, my ideas are garbage, and he says, "Nah, not that one. That's no good." Or, "Hey, yeah, it's possible, but it's going to take $1 billion to do, so forget about it." But this one, he was like, that could work. That could work. What
Okay.
if, yeah, if we structured it like this and we build that program out? He's a software developer, so
Ah,
he's actually now the product manager under StageDive. He helped us to
okay.
to really get this thing off the ground, help put the team together. So long story, but that's how the genesis of StageDive came to be.
Well, no, that's that's absolutely beautiful. I mean, that totally fits in with the vibe that I'm sure that a lot of us are going through, when you're listening to music or either on the road or even just in your own personal space. I mean, you want your vibe to continue the way you set it up. But
Exactly. Why else do you have a playlist?
yeah, so but
Yeah.
that's a very interesting name you've come up with, Stage Dive. Why Stage Dive?
Okay. Yeah. So you think about what a stage dive is, right? You're up on stage, you're rocking out, you jump off, your fans carry you. It's actually been described as one of the best feelings for an artist when they actually do get to do that at a big festival or a big show. It's like the culmination of the whole rock star vibe is to get to jump off and be carried by your fans.
Right.
So, when
Cool.
we think about the way that stage dive works, it's really just enabling a digital version of that. They get to broadcast their music to their fans. Their fans' subscriptions get to fund them and carry them. So Stage Dive, it seemed to just click. It seemed appropriate.
That's really amazing. That's really amazing. I could just see a whole bunch of people falling into the mosh pit over this one, trying to, clamor to get in and be part of this.
So
That's
far,
really amazing. And I noticed that you guys just launched,
that's
right?
right. Yep.
How's it going so far?
Oh wow, yeah, it's going great. It's going great. It's actually kind of overwhelming to be frank. It's been a year of grindy work and just trying to get
Yes.
people to believe in this idea and
Yes.
to not think that we're one of these fake promoters who retweet people all the time or repost stuff all the time to try to get
Right.
their own clout. There's a lot of skepticism out there, so it's been a grindy process telling them, yeah, the platform doesn't work yet, but trust me, here's what it's going to be, right?
Okay.
And getting them to
Okay.
believe that. So it's been a lot of monotony over the last year just doing that. So now that it's up, it's functional. We're taking subscriptions. We're starting to allocate those for payouts. We do payouts monthly.
Okay.
Um, so it's going great as far as people seeing like, oh, they meant it the whole time. This whole year that John's been in our inbox just bugging us about this new platform that's coming. Like he meant every word he said, right? So they're enjoying it. So that's cool. We kind of got hugged to death the other day
Okay.
where there's so much streaming going on that we started. I don't know if you've ever seen this. When there's so much traffic to a site, you get the
Yes.
503 error unavailable.
Yes.
We
Yes.
had that for the first time, which was on one
Oh,
hand terrifying. I was like, oh no, the platform's down. It's brand new. What's this
right.
mean? But then, little switch happened in my brain. I was like, nah, that means people are using it. This is good.
Yes,
This is good.
yes.
So,
This
yeah,
is the type of overwhelm that you really want to experience, I can tell you. It's like so many people want your product that, they're just coming on, grabbing it up. I think that's
that's
awesome.
it. Oh, it
Yeah.
was it was a very special moment. And so you all know we spun up a whole new node, so that's not going to be happening again anytime soon.
Okay.
If it does though, I mean, whole other level of success, right?
Hey,
So,
yes, it does.
hey,
Right, exactly.
sign
Exactly. I
on and
mean,
crash us, guys. Let's go.
and as because we're talking computers, of course, it's not a linear amount of people, it's exponential, right? So
Ideally, yeah.
yeah, so that's amazing. So which we know that it's for all fans of all genres, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. So which musicians will the platform be for? Are we looking at indies? Are we looking at signed? Who is it for and how do they go about getting into this?
Yeah, so really anybody could technically sign up. We are gearing specifically toward indie, right? We're looking
Mhm.
to allow the kind of success that independent artists have been able to create. I'm not sure if the listeners are into hip hop, but just as a case study, you look at
Mhm.
somebody like Tom McDonald, for example,
Yes.
somebody who went
Mhm.
totally against labels, just decided he's going to do his own thing, his own marketing.
Yes.
So that's been great because he's been able to build a really loyal fan base and swell sort of from the bottom. Another
Yes.
great band is Silly Goose. They're one of these folks that were just out there literally in the streets. They had a trailer and they were playing in the streets and just getting these massive crowds,
Mhm.
rabid fans who love them to death, who will show up to any show that they throw.
Okay.
It's an amazing thing. So artists like that are the target market, folks that are looking for something different, looking to kind of
Yes.
buck the system and just go a whole other direction. That's who we're geared toward. That being
Okay.
said, certain signed artists or certain record labels have shown interest, have decided to get involved.
Okay.
We're really aiming for the ones that are mostly interested in changing the music industry as it is, who are interested in sort of joining the revolution and doing something different. The
Okay.
folks who are looking for the cookie cutter, the style that music business has been in for the last 60 years or so,
Right.
I mean, they probably won't like our model too much. That it's not going to really fit what they're trying to do. So independent musicians is really where it's at. Independent podcasters as well, alternative media, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I noticed there were several podcasts listed on the platform. Now, are those creators receiving royalties, payouts, and that sort of thing as well,
Yeah,
equally?
the exact same model. The exact same model. So, long form audio content is, I think, going to do very well because we're distributing proportionally based on how much time is spent streaming. So, if you do have a podcast and you want to launch it someplace, well, if somebody listens to a song, that's a few minutes. If somebody listens to a podcast, that's an hour or more, right? That's a greater share of
Yes.
their time. So, yeah,
Okay.
they're on the exact same payout model. There's no variations. There's no pay to play or any kind of games as far as that's concerned. It's like a
Right.
keep what you catch model, right? So you
Okay.
capture the person's ears for that month, you get a portion of their subscription that month, and then each month it just continues to cycle. So keep them coming back, keep earning the revenue.
Wow. I mean, that it just sounds so fair.
I hope
It's
so.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's like, why couldn't the world be like this? Because, every time you turn around, some entity or individual is snapping up the royalties that a musician has earned or a creator has earned or whatever, and someone is stealing it and all of this kind of thing, or it ends up in a black box, because they haven't been able
Shelved.
to be
Yeah.
identified or shelved or yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's wow. I
Well,
mean, this is so cool. You can have direct to consumer.
yeah, we're a bunch of nerds over here, right? And we
Okay.
have nerd rage, I guess. We don't like bullies. We
Right?
really don't like bullies. And so we thought there's a lot of bullies in the music industry and the
Mhm.
adjacent industries, by the way, entertainment
Yes.
as a whole.
Yes.
Ticketing, merch sales, all these different things are potential futures, right? But
Mhm.
at this stage, music streaming and royalties is our focus, and that's where we're
Right.
trying to introduce a little bit of justice, introduce a little bit of
Yes.
fairness and some equity, right? Make it so that business can be business again.
It just
Musicians who are creating the value receive the value. I mean, what a concept.
yeah. I mean, it just sounds so deliciously fair, you know? Why wasn't it like this to begin with?
Well, the bullies decided they wanted the money, right? So
I tell you, and you mentioned the concept of including other monetary streams like merch and all
Mhm.
of that. Is that something that's in the works or potentially in the future, or had you
That
considered
is
that?
in the works. Yeah. So that was one of the biggest things that really blew our minds when we started taking a dive. See what I did there? Yeah.
Yes, yes,
That's when we started taking a deeper dive into, how the inner workings of touring musicians' businesses work,
yes,
right? And one of the ways that they make a good chunk of the money that they make when they're out on the road and playing multiple shows is they set up a merch table, usually
yes,
at the venue. Well, that used to be the way that they would make their money, but even that venues have started taking massive chunks. I mean, like
yes.
25% of merch sales
25%.
also
Yes,
after everything else that they've had to pay. And they've got to pay their road crews, they've got to pay their sound folks, they've got to,
yes,
pay to be at the venue, pay a portion of drink sales. I mean, they're really just getting bites taken out of them from all directions. So what we're
Horrible.
building right now is we're going to build in some special integrations. Exactly what the form is going to look like, I'm not entirely sure yet. We're still forming that, but we want StageDive to be a one-stop shop so that your fans meet you on StageDive. You can sell your merch to them. You can get their streams. You can get their support. You can schedule shows. So these are all things that are down the road. Today, all that we have is the streaming and revenue. Tipping is coming right around the corner as well. Think
Okay.
about the musician who's just got their guitar case out on the street and they're playing, and you toss them $1. We're
Busking.
gonna have the digital version of that. So,
Awesome. Any interest or plans to include video or
oh
live
man,
video performances or all of that, or is that another level of bandwidth utilization? Looking for those 503 errors again.
exactly. So that is the main roadblock, and my developers want to kill me every time I go on a podcast because I keep saying, "Yeah, we're going to do video. We want video." The it's not on the roadmap just yet.
Okay.
As the founder, I can say that eventually we will do it. I'll sell them on it. We'll get there. But as of right now, it's been backburnered until everything else is working very
Right.
well. But yeah, down the road, look for it.
Okay.
My developers I can actually hear their heads exploding as I'm saying this, but I'm calling it a yes. We'll see what happens.
Well, their minds are just blown by the awesome idea. That's what
By
it is.
how great the idea is, right?
Yeah. So I tell you, when musicians are coming onto the platform to get signed up, what are the preferred formats for streaming? Waves, MP3s?
Yeah,
What
waves and
is your
MP3s are
preference?
going to be the primary ones. Yeah, those are the ones that are easiest to store, easiest to distribute, easiest to stream. It is still a bandwidth thing. It is an infrastructure thing.
Yes.
Those are pretty universally accepted. Most browsers support those, for example. So those are the easiest ones to upload and get into your profile. Yeah.
Okay. So embedded metadata or no?
No embedded metadata. So
Okay.
we have been looking into that a little bit more. The metadata usually, and I'm new to this concept, actually, mostly thanks to you and to the folks over at EntreMusician and how the metadata plays into getting you paid.
Okay.
On StageDive, it is a little bit different in that we have the account set up directly with the artist. So if your
Okay.
music is being streamed from StageDive, that
Yes.
is being paid directly back to you, the one who posted it, right? So
Okay.
that's a part of it. There's less of a need of metadata because there's less of a tracking necessity. You're not going to really have to track us down to find out whether or not you got played. It's all right
Okay.
in your dashboard, completely transparent.
Okay. Okay. That is really awesome because you don't have to worry about did I get streamed or didn't I get streamed, and am I getting revenue or am I not getting revenue, or am I getting streamed and I'm not getting revenue, and was the stream broken so that one didn't count, and all of
Right.
those sorts of things.
And here's a beautiful piece of it, right? They do not need to stream your entire song in order for your time stream to count. We
Okay.
actually calculate that by seconds. So if somebody streams 1 second of your song,
Yes.
that second is counted. And then when it comes to payout time, we calculate total seconds streamed of your stuff versus total seconds streamed by that user overall. So even that 1 second earns a portion of the sub. So
That
do with
is
that
awesome.
information what you will, but we tried to
Yes.
make it just, down to the smallest increment we possibly can. If you earned that
Yes.
stream for that second, that's
Okay.
that's yours.
Oh, well, that's killer. I mean, because it even counts if someone is just auditioning, a track to add to their playlist and all of that. And speaking of which, creation
Yes.
of playlists,
Yes.
how does that work for the fan listener?
Yeah, so in the player, there's a little button, looks like a little plus. And so you're listening to a song, you like it, you want to come back to it later. You're worried you might not remember the name of the artist or anything like that, right? That's been known to
Right,
happen to
right.
me, time and time
All
again.
the time. Yes.
Click the little plus button, add to playlist. You can add it to an existing one or create a new one. But in
Okay.
your profile as a listener, you have a whole list of all of your playlists. So,
Mhm.
you have your workout playlist, your running playlist, your driving playlist, whatever else.
Okay.
But yeah, you
Okay.
can create custom playlists sort of at will and go back to them again at will. Now,
Awesome.
on the idea of playlists, that's one of the things that I'm really encouraging subscribers to set up, especially if you're signing up to support an artist that you know. So let's
Yes.
say, I'm a big fan of Grimrock, right? Grimrock hits me up, says, "Hey, John, go sign up and stream me on StageDive." If
Yes.
I want to make sure that my sub gets paid out to Grimrock each month, I'm going to add him to a playlist, and then I'm going to
Mhm.
make sure I go back to that playlist and listen to it each
Listen to
month. That
playlist.
way he gets the payout for it, right? So
Okay.
just a little
Okay.
pro tip for the new subscribers out there. That's the way to get it done.
Right. Well, that's awesome. And that's great on both sides of the coin because musicians can encourage their fans to go there and sign up and, add them to their playlist or create a playlist based on, their music. And speaking of that concept, is there sort of an algorithm that allows you to create a playlist based on the vibe of a certain track,
Yeah,
or is it all manual?
well, so it's largely manual for now. We are working on that, but we also want to stay away from too much of the algorithming, right? Because we don't
Okay.
want to try to funnel people in any this direction or that direction. It's
Okay.
we're trying to make it be as fair as possible. Right now, the way that the homepage works is whatever genre the artist has tagged their track as. That's the playlist that it's going to show up in, at least on that homepage. That's how
Okay.
you're going to be able to search. You can search by, creators or tags or so on and so forth.
Hmm. Okay.
We are looking for good ways to at least get similar tastes of music in front of listeners, but
Okay.
we haven't delved too deeply into that just yet. It's all very organic. What is posted is presented as it was posted, and a lot of it is in order of time. So the
Oh,
most recent tracks under the punk rock tag will be on the punk rock playlist on the homepage.
okay.
Things like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, because I was looking at the homepage and I noticed not all genres are listed
Yeah.
there. There's only, I guess that's a space issue or it's coming soon or
I really wish there was a more scientific explanation for this, but in reality, what we did is right before launch, me and the developers sat down and we're like, okay, what do we put on the front page? We say, well, take the tags that have the most music in them. So those were the ones that at launch had the most
had the
tracks
most
in them,
tracks.
and we
Okay.
just used those. But yeah, let us know. Let us know if you
Okay.
think that there's a tag that should be on the homepage. More than
Right.
happy to create one and add it. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, there's also a whole new layout coming where we're going to present things in an entirely different way than we do right now, trying to make more of the catalog
Yes.
visible and accessible. So that's down the road a
Nice.
little bit. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and it's really cool. And I noticed because I have been using the platform myself, and I noticed a really cool feature, and I don't know if you plan to continue it, but the bug reporting, you got the little bug
Oh
there in the
yeah.
top left-hand corner, and it accepts feature suggestions and all of that. I don't
Yep.
know, maybe you'll move it to a different location, or maybe it'll be back, behind on the creator dashboard or something. But I thought that was a really great feature.
Yeah, got to give credit to our developer Woody. Yeah, Woody came up with that. He posted it there. I have launched multiple products over time, right? And we were
Right.
always trying to figure out what's the best way to capture the feature and bug requests. And he just casually came up, "Oh yeah, I'll put a little bug in the corner, and you'll click the bug and it'll work." Put a
Right.
bug in the corner. What does that mean? But ever since I've seen it, I love it. Like I never want
Yeah,
to get rid of it.
right. I think it's such a cool thing. We already talked about creating playlists and how fans can create playlists, and
Yes.
I noticed that artists themselves get access to the fan side, so you get to listen and everything. Artists themselves will also be able to create playlists.
Yeah, they will. So there is this division. So it's totally free to be a creator on StageDive. We don't charge you anything to just be a creator and post your own music. If you do subscribe and you want to listen to other people's music, we do charge a subscription for that because it is
Okay.
still ears being
Ears.
earned, right?
Yes. Okay.
So when you do that, when you subscribe, you have the full listener functionality in addition to all of the creator functionality. So that includes creating
Nice.
playlists and such.
Okay.
We are right now. I just got out of the dev meeting just, like an hour or so ago, where we were discussing next steps as far as sharing playlists. So what we want to be able to happen is, if I'm not a creator, but I'm a huge curator of independent music,
Yes.
I create playlists that I consider to be future hits. I want to be able to share that out and have other listeners see
Yes.
that. So we're going to surface some of that functionality. It's, down the road a little bit. We're still working out some of the bugs we got from the little pink bug button.
Okay.
But
Okay. Yes. Yes.
once some of those get backburnered, yeah, shareable playlists is on the
That's
on the
awesome.
roadmap. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that kind of dovetails into my next set of line of questioning, which is fan engagement by the
Yes.
artist. I mean, it's like there is a definite wall on a lot of other popular streaming platforms between the fans and the artists creators. I mean, they
Yes.
just don't want you to be able to talk to them and all of that sort of thing. Is that something that StageDive addresses, and how does it work?
Yeah, so we're going to make it optional, right? We're going to make it optional for the creator because some creators don't like to do too much interaction. They like to create their art, share it with the world, and they're not into the interpersonal
Okay.
conversation back and forth.
Yes.
So the form that's going to take is there's going to be the tipping option, right? So if I like your music, I want to toss you a tip and hey, here's an extra buck. There you go. We're going to make that really easy.
Okay.
We have a like feature coming, so you can say which tracks you really like, and then the artist will receive that feedback and see what they liked. The really cool, innovative idea behind that is those likes are going to be time stamped according to the song that they were listening to when they did it. So if
Okay.
you hit a solo and that solo blows my mind and I decide to hit that like button, that's useful information for the creator to know. Here's what my fans are coming for, right?
Okay.
So you'll be able to have some readouts and some graphs so you can see at what points people are choosing to interact with your content.
Okay.
Um, we're also just about to introduce some additional things into the artist profile, where you're going to be able to add your socials there. So if somebody encounters you on StageDive, they want to get in touch, they want to get in contact. A lot of musicians already have mechanisms by which they do that, or they have management that handles those kinds of requests, that manage their social media. So if
Yes.
that's already pre-built, we'll just sort of give fans a direction to go and reach out to you. Now, that's actually pretty important, for us because we know that a lot of listeners don't only listen for the purposes of just enjoying the music. Some are looking for something to add to a project or put it into a movie or, who knows what else, but they have
Yes.
reasons for wanting to get in touch with the artist. We're trying
Mhm.
to streamline that. But if the artist decides that they don't want it, it's as simple as don't add your socials
Mhm.
into your profile and post your
Okay.
music, and the rest of the
Okay.
functionality of StageDive carries on as you like it to.
What about the idea of creating a fan base list that artists could do? Like, would the platform allow fans to be able to give their email address to the artist so that they can, kind of keep them up to date for new releases and all of that? Is that
Yes.
something considering?
Well, so it's definitely possible. We're trying to be very careful with how we use data, right? How we use our
Right.
subscribers' data. One of
Yes.
the crazy things is most platforms now, especially ones that are free with ads and such, we always
Yes.
say if the platform is free, then you are the product, right? And the
Right. Yeah,
platform is
true.
selling your data. So we're
Yes.
we're really trying to avoid even towing the line as far as that's concerned. We may add some terms and put it very much in the hands of the subscriber themselves, what information they'd like to share and when.
Yes.
Because say they want to just be a casual listener, they don't want to be tracked by all kinds of cookies or get all kinds of marketing spam emails. That's another thing I can't stand is spam emails, right? I think everybody listening to this will agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yes.
So the last thing I want to do is make a platform that generates more of that for you. Far
Right.
be it from me. I hope it never becomes that. So yeah, putting it in control of both, right? If the artist wants to be contacted, they have ways of making it so they can be contacted.
Yes.
If the subscriber wants to be contacted or wants to, show their support by adding their contact information, that's something that will work in and make it very optional, an on-off switch for
Yes.
something like that.
Type of thing. That's great because again, building a fan base is key to developing your
Absolutely.
career and having, it doesn't make sense to release music and you don't have an audience, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, people
So,
who will show up to you,
yeah,
to when you throw a gig or throw a show or they hear you're in town, you want them to be excited, you want a way to even let them know that you're coming. So,
right.
yeah, definitely understood.
Exactly. Exactly. I think that major tool that artists
Mm.
would take advantage of, you know.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
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 And what about the concept along the same lines of being able to share upcoming gigs and
Oh
all of
yeah.
that. Is that something that you guys are thinking about to have, like, we could have on our profiles that people could see?
Yeah, so that's actually one of the really cool features that I'm excited about. It's
Ooh,
still
let the
we're
cat out of the
probably a
bag.
couple months out. We're a couple
Okay.
months out, but
Okay.
we were just having a really interesting conversation with Matt Black of Hangover Hill Records.
Mhm.
He's overseas. He was the originator of the original music awards that happens in Dorset every year.
Ah,
And so we were having a conversation with him because he's involved in trying to help promote all of this as well. And
okay.
so he has something that he's been working on, which is used to be called gig filler, but the entire idea was is it's a single source of truth for where artists are going to be. It's something like a calendar that they can update regularly, and then it's a
Right.
list. So if I'm in a new city for the weekend, I can go there, find out what shows are playing in the area where I am. So there's
Okay.
some really cool, innovative integrations that we're going to be doing with that, where we can see
Nice.
where a listener is listening from, if they happen across an artist in a playlist and they're in the city where that artist happens to be playing, we can kind of
Right.
give them a little ping. Hey, by the way, they're playing nearby this Saturday.
Yes.
So we're
Okay.
working on some cool integrations with what Matt has going on and what we have going on. And we'll see where it goes, but when it's ready, it's going to be very, very cool.
That sounds awesome,
Yeah.
because it sounds like what you're doing is you're creating a full innovative package that really is fair to the artist and allows the fans to support their favorite artists,
That's it.
with the whole thing. I mean, wow, this is really just mind blowing. So not just your developers, but also on our end, and everybody who sees this podcast episode should be really, really excited about this because, wow, I mean, you're talking about a full, well-rounded presentation of, tools and opportunity.
Well, yeah, we decided if we're going to do something ambitious, right? We're going to do something that changes a paradigm. We might as well go full delusional with it, right? Just what
Yes.
would what would
Yes.
an ideal world look like? How do we think the music business should have worked all along? Doesn't
Yes.
matter how impossible it sounds. We just threw that out entirely. Don't worry if there's a lot of roadblockers or if there's something that seems impossible to overcome. Let's just get
Mhm.
it on paper. What should it look like if it ran perfectly and fairly and the right way? And we
Amen.
listed those out, and that list basically was copy pasted over into our roadmap. We said, okay, some
Okay.
high hills to climb there, right? Some
Yes.
difficult
Okay.
stuff to do.
Yes.
But, somebody has to take the first step. Somebody has to do it. And, what we sort of thought is that along the way, artists would get it, and the other people in the industry who are capable of making something like this happen would
Yes.
hear about it and get engaged and help us make it happen. And
Yes.
lo and behold, that's exactly what's happened. People see that we're up
Wow.
to something incredible, and they've
Yes.
started popping up and reaching out and getting in contact. I mean,
Okay.
this interview is a perfect example of that. Jerry and yourself, Darrell, and
Mhm.
the entire EntreMusician crew. I mean,
Right.
the fact that we're now in contact with you all and having this conversation is evidence of the fact that like-minded people
Are
attract
going to
and
attract.
and start to
Yes.
cooperate. And yeah, it's
And put
we're
stuff
going to carry that
together.
forward as far as it'll go. Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So I have to tell you, like I said before, I'm blown away, and I'm really looking forward to see where this will go because I'm pretty sure it will go far. And if you guys are able to implement everything that you have in mind and have even just talked about in this short time here, uh, it'll just be such a benefit to musicians and
Oh,
fans
God
and
willing.
everything.
That's
You
exactly
know?
what we're looking for. Yeah.
Right, right. So, what would you like people to do from this point? From this point on, what buttons should they click to get to you and get on the platform and everything? Hone us in on that piece.
Yes. Okay. If you are a musician, especially an independent musician, one who has your own music and you're trying to share that with the world, get involved, get your stuff posted. There is a button you need to click. You need to sign into StageDive, and there's a request creator account button that comes to us. We will approve your account. We do a little verification to try to filter out the trolls. We've had a few trolls and bots and things like that. We filter
Wow.
those out. That's why we put
Yes.
it behind a button. But
Yes.
click that button. It's not intimidating. It's just your opportunity to post stuff to our platform. So if you're a creator, a musician, a podcaster, do that and start uploading your music. More so than that for the moment, right? We really need people to buy into the fact that streaming should support the musician or the podcaster themselves. So if you're hearing this right now and you're into music, you're into supporting independent creators, we really, really need subscriptions. We need people to get on there, start listening to the music, start engaging, get involved, because that's the way that we're able to make any of this happen, is that we take those subscriptions and start divvying those out to the people that you listen to. And that's really where the magic is going to happen with anything else that we want to do. If we can get that piece, everything else becomes possible.
Wow. Wow. I can't wait. I mean, I'm seeing serious, huge fireworks and explosions because, wow. Yes, this is going to be the next thing. I really think so. I mean, because a lot of the arguments that were happening with past platforms are blown out of the water, you know?
Yeah, there's really not a reason to do it a different way. And it's so funny. Anybody who argues for the status quo has a very difficult time defending the status quo in light of
Right.
something like this existing. And so my
Right.
only ask to the public is help us make it exist, right? We built the infrastructure, we're
Mhm.
building the bridges, but people got to walk across the bridge. And once you do, there's no reason for any other style of platform to exist. This
Mhm.
disrupts the entire industry for the better for fans and for creators. Everybody else, we're less concerned about, but for the fans getting good music that they can listen to and enjoy, and
Right.
creators getting the benefit of it, that's exactly what we're trying to allow to happen.
That is absolutely amazing. And what everybody has been waiting for.
That's
Man,
it. That's
this
it.
is I can't wait for this to really just take off, and I can't wait to tell people. I can't wait to tell more
Yeah.
people about it, you know?
I mean,
So,
yeah, you'll will see me posting like a madman on X and Twitter and Instagram and just
okay.
constant posts and things like that. It's because not only, I mean, as the founder, of course, I like my own idea, right? But who
Well,
wouldn't?
yeah.
But the fact that I no longer actually stream from any other platforms, I enjoy listening to the content such that
Mhm.
had I been an outsider and happened across a platform that offers these things, good music, no ads, support the artist, this is what I would be running out to my friends and saying.
Right.
This is exactly what I'd be texting everybody. Hey, go sign up for this. This is nuts. This is a whole new level of experiencing, content. Um,
Mhm.
I'm just very privileged to be in a position where now it's becoming part of my living to do so. So I'm sharing it with everybody because I genuinely believe this is the better way to do stuff.
Well, I totally agree. I mean, right now I kind of feel like an environmentalist who has figured a way to decrease my carbon footprint.
Okay.
You know, I mean, this is called
Yeah.
responsibility in the music industry. Can I say that? Can I say these
Oh
two
man.
things in the same sentence?
I hope for the day that becomes common, but yes, we'll take
Yes,
that. This
you
is
have to
this
ask.
is a way to be responsible about how you
Yes,
consume music and how
consume
you
music.
consume even podcasts and such, how you consume your entertainment. This is
Wow,
how it should have worked all along. So let's consume it here and let's be responsible and let's build the future that we've all been hoping for.
amazing, purely amazing. Man, I'm looking forward to this. Well, we've been going on, and I think that we've made a serious deep dive into StageDive as a platform. And I'm sure people will have more questions in the future. And, as you guys develop more and more modules and segments to this platform and everything, will there be instructional seminars and other similar deep dives to this to explain, the future and plans of StageDive for artists
Yeah.
that are participating?
Absolutely, yeah. So realistically, right now, it's on a one-on-one basis. Anybody that we see signing up or getting involved, we have a one-on-one communication, often on X or via email, something like that, where we give you individualized support. And at this stage, before any explosive growth happens, that's still possible. But in order to prepare for the next phase of this thing, right? We are making some replicatable videos, screen caps, showing people how to. On the site itself, we have a whole support section that goes through the common questions that were asked already, with some instructions and some screenshots. Here's where you click, here's what you do, or hey, if you encountered that problem, hey, click the bug, let us know, and we'll try to fix it. So
Right.
there are some replicatable bits that are starting to go out so that folks can encounter it and just have a smooth, simple, easy process. But
Cool.
if we don't make it easy enough to do without support, we're probably not doing our job. So hold us to it. Hold us to it. Let us know where it's broken.
Yes. Smash the bug.
Smash the bug. Yeah.
Let them know. Let them know what's
Yeah.
going on. Any thoughts about a mobile version, mobile app?
Yeah, so the mobile action is actually where we get kind of into our most rebellious. I mean, there's a little bit of rebellion in the blood over here at Stage
Okay.
Dive, in case you couldn't tell. So
That's cool. That's
we
cool.
there is a mobile version. So right now
Oh,
the app works in something along the lines of a progressive web app. And so for the
yes.
non-techie heads, what that basically means is it's a website that works like an app. So
Okay.
you hit stagedive.com on your phone, you add it to your screen, you will never
Mhm.
know that it's not an app. It's an icon, you tap on it, it opens up, it's full screen, it works just like an app. And
Okay.
there's a real important reason why we went that route instead of going the Google Play or Apple Store, app
Hmm.
stores.
Hmm.
Um, those platforms require not only their approval, like they can tell us yes or
Correct.
no, you can exist on this platform or you
Here
can't.
today, gone tomorrow, based on what they say.
Exactly. And who are the big money players in those markets that are already music via those platforms, right?
Right.
So they would
Exactly.
have probably some say in whether or not we get to exist. And that sort of breaks the whole purpose behind it. So we didn't
Yes.
go that route. We may one day offer something along those lines, but for now, the progressive web app is really the way to go. So you
Okay.
just go to StageDive, in almost any browser. Most people use Chrome or Safari or something like that. You just tap the little options button, add to home screen, boom, you have the app.
Right there.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Beautiful.
And
Man,
it works even probably cooler on the phone than it does on
on a
desktop
desktop.
as it is anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's where I mean who doesn't stream on their phone? So
Yeah,
you
true.
definitely need it. You definitely need it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about availability in other countries? I know you mentioned some places in Europe.
Yeah, so it should be available. We're not aware of it being banned anywhere as of yet.
Okay.
We're we are kind of a bannable platform to a lot of folks because not doing so much of the censorship and such. I mean, if it's
Right.
within your right to say, if not openly threatening people or causing harm or illegal activity, things like that, we're not censoring opinions, we're not censoring music, we're not doing any of that. So I'm sure that the main vendors who ban websites will eventually get around to banning us. I'm positive of it. Get us before then if you can.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
but
Get on.
but as far as availability, anywhere that you have internet access and you can hit stagedive.com, you can stream our stuff there. You can pay for a subscription through there. It's all done through Stripe, so they handle all of the transactions and tax implications and things as far as that's concerned. So
That is
so yeah,
amazing.
I mean, available globally as far as I know. So
You guys are awesome. You've thought of everything. You
we do
thought
what
of
we can.
everything.
If I hadn't thought of everything, that'd mean that a lot of these last nights over this last year where I didn't sleep at all and I've just got bloodshot eyes staring at my laptop. I mean, I'd like to think I was up to something during that whole time. So hopefully we've thought of everything. We don't know what we don't know. I'm sure going to get surprised by something, but oof, so far we've done our best to think of everything.
Well, that's the nature of the business. And I have to tell you, you guys seem to have done an awesome job putting this whole project together. And I hope everybody makes sure that they get on board
Yes.
stagedive.com and just go
Yes.
there, check out the offerings, start uploading your music, make sure that you connect your financials so you can get paid. Yes, this is a platform that supports the artists. This is a platform that supports fan engagement. And this is a platform that gives the fans what they want.
I could not have said it better myself. That was amazing. Yes, everything Darrell just said is 100% true. We are completely about the fans and the creators. We are just an incidental. We just happen to be the ones who built the structure, but the entire point behind all of this is the interaction that is possible with the fans, with the creators. And so fans out there, go and subscribe. Creators out there, go upload your music. Yeah, that's really what's going to make StageDive either fantastic or flop. One way or the other, we're here to make it possible. So it's up to you all at this point.
Well, I think that's great and that's awesome. Listen, Jon, thank you so much for coming on to the EntreMusician podcast to share this wonderful news with us. We really appreciate your taking your time out to do that.
Hey, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. Great talking to you, Darrell.
Same here. Everybody, my name is Darrell Looney, and I am the EntreMusician. But you know what? So are you. And we're bringing you these awesome notifications and pieces of information and industry updates for you to maximize your ability to be the best EntreMusician you can be. So look forward to seeing everyone on StageDive. So let's get this going. I am the EntreMusician, and again, so are you. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Until next time.